Hey guys, it's Marianne Cleary here, and here's my review on the Blob. I've been promising it for a while. This one is the Blob. And this is a movie from the 80s. Can I just say that I don't go back to the 80s very much for movies? This one I have gone back, I saw it about 3 times before I made this review. And it's a slower movie. A much slower movie. Basically, a meteor hits Earth, and what happens is this green ooze comes out, and if you are touched by this thing, your insides just melt almost away. So it's one of these really weird horror movies. I think it's a horror / sci-fi movie. Can I point out that if you don't like slower movies, don't bother watching it. Because when I saw it about 2 weeks ago, I sat through it with my cousin. She hated it. She hated how slow it is. I always put myself back in that mindset of when this was made, which is 80s, which is a little bit slower. You don't get the kinetic energy, but still absolutely brilliant. The two leads, even though they probably come from different worlds almost. One's a very privileged girl. She's actually the daughter of the pharmacist, and he is a bad boy. Typical bad boy, gets in trouble with the coppers. Basically, with a Harley jacket. You could really believe that he could bring out a switchblade. Very Fonzie-like, but not as much fun as the Fonz. The fact that the bad guy is completely non-personal. You do get a bit of a human villain as well, with scientists that come in towards the end of the movie and basically want to harness this thing. You find out it's some weird alien experiment that they've done, or some crap. And can I just say a little tidbit? They actually ripped off Friday the 13th. If you watch it very carefully, there's a scene where kids got into over 18 movie, and the movie they're watching is a blatant rip-off of Friday the 13th. I'm not sure which. I think it's possibly number 3 or 4. You can probably tell me in the comment. You can probably comment about it. But I've actually seen this. I actually have. Funny. I might miss out when I do my House of Wax episode. But when I saw that movie with my father, kids walked in, and I swear they're younger than me. I was 15 when I saw it. Yeah, it's probably. In some countries, it's probably weird. It was an MA in Australia. And kids walked in. They were about 4 or 5 years younger than me. So it's not that uncommon for this to actually happen. But that's my tangent. And the fact that we find out that this thing is I'm not going to say allergic to, but it's afraid of cold, which if it comes from outer space and has been hit by a meteor, it is cold there already. So I can get where this comes from, but it's actually set up. It's like a random thing that popped up. It actually gets set up when the two leads are caught up in a diner, and they go into the ice room, the cool room, and the blob comes after them and some of the blob gets underneath the door and touches ice. If Silver goes, cold, and runs away. So it's not a complete surprise, like, oh, it's afraid of cold. It's a legitimate setup. It's like, it's set up in the first act, and it gets something that pops in the first act is something that pops up in the third act. It's classic writing. I probably screw that completely up. But you get the drift. And the fact that some of the things that were set up were paid off in the third act, like the hero, his mate has an ice making car, and they use that to defeat the Blob. I have to say, great screenwriting, and it's something similar to what I've seen in Back to the Future, which I will plan to do. My recommend? This is a 4. 4 out of 5. And I would not mind if this gets remade. Some movies that I've seen from 80s or even early 90s that have gone, that cannot be touched. This one, I wouldn't mind if they remade it. This is a remake. I said I was going to do a loose sort of connection of remakes. Yes, this is a remake, which I didn't realise until I did a bit of research. There's a black and white version, and then there's the 88, which is actually 2 years older than me, but nevertheless. This is one I wouldn't mind if remade and modernised. I wouldn't, and it wouldn't really go, oh, why? This is one I could see remade, but I wouldn't know who would be in it. Possibly I could not say who I would cast in the lead roles, but this is definite one I could see them taking into Hollywood. I would love Platinum Dooms to possibly do it, because I've seen what they've done with both the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and also Friday the 13th. I wouldn't mind if Platinum Dooms took this and did something with it. I could see them doing it, because they've done a lot of horror movies, or possibly even Rob Zuckerberg with his Dark Castle Productions. I wouldn't mind either one or the other getting this, but I could definitely see one or the other doing this and remaking it. So this is Marianne out. You probably know where to find me. But to reintegrate, email me at mariannecleary@me.com. Find me on Twitter at marianne.cleary. You can find me on Facebook at Marianne Elizabeth Cleary, or just put something into the comments. This is me out, and I shall see you soon. I would love to hear what you want me to do review. I would love to hear from you. So, I'll see you around. Bye.